Do you hesitate every time you're about to buy something just for you? Bills, rent, gifts for others? No problem. But when it's a new shirt, a coffee, a course, or anything that makes your life easier, you close the tab and tell yourself, I don't really need it. Most people call that being responsible. Psychology says, in many cases, it's actually a quiet form of self-neglect. If you feel weirdly guilty spending money on yourself, what you're about to hear might feel uncomfortably accurate. And the last reason explains why even when you earn more, that guilt doesn't go away. Let's break down the hidden psychology of people who hate spending money on themselves. 1. Survival wiring from scarcity. For many people, this starts in childhood. If you grew up hearing, money doesn't grow on trees, we can't afford that, we only buy what we need, your brain learned that spending on comfort or enjoyment is dangerous. Psychologists call this a scarcity mindset. Your brain is stuck in survival mode, even when your bank account isn't. So when it's time to buy something for yourself, your nervous system reacts like you're threatening your safety. You feel anxiety, tightness in your chest, and urge to back out of the purchase. It's not that you hate yourself. Your brain is just overprotecting you, using rules that made sense years ago, but maybe not anymore. 2. I don't deserve it programming. Some people don't struggle to spend money in general, only on themselves. They'll happily buy nice things for friends, family, or partners, but when it's for them, suddenly it feels selfish or wasteful. This often comes from self-worth beliefs picked up early on. Love was given when you were useful, helpful, or sacrificing. Praise came when you did without so others could have more. Over time, your brain quietly connected being a good person with not wanting anything. So spending on yourself doesn't just feel expensive, it feels morally wrong. You might even sabotage your own enjoyment by returning items, choosing the cheapest option, or talking yourself out of upgrades because deep down you're fighting an old belief. Nice things are for other people, not for me. 3. The responsible provider identity. Another pattern is the I must take care of everyone identity. Psychologists call this hyper-responsibility. You feel it's your job to protect the household, the relationship, even grown adults around you. So every time you think about buying something for yourself, your brain immediately scans for someone who needs it more. Kids, parents, siblings, partner, friends, future emergencies that haven't even happened yet. This creates a martyr mindset. You feel strong and proud when you sacrifice your own comfort for the greater good. The downside? Your own needs slowly disappear from the budget. You become the one who works the hardest and receives the least. And over time, that builds quiet resentment and burnout, even if you rarely show it. 4. Fear of losing control again. Some people who hate spending on themselves aren't naturally frugal. They're burned by the past. Maybe you were in debt, maxed out cards, or made bad money choices before. You remember the stress, the arguments, the sleepless nights. Now your brain has swung to the opposite extreme. No risks, no treats, no slip-ups, ever. Psychologists call this overcorrection. Your mind tries so hard to protect you from repeating old mistakes that it treats every personal purchase as a potential disaster. So even when you've budgeted for it, even when you can clearly afford it, you feel a wave of fear. What if I need this money later? What if something goes wrong? You're not being rational. You're negotiating with an older version of yourself who once felt out of control. 5. Making yourself the lowest priority. Here's the deepest layer, and the one most people never notice. Over years of putting others first, your brain quietly built a ranking system. Bills, obligations, other people's needs equals high priority. Your comfort, hobbies, and small joys equals optional luxuries. Psychologists sometimes call this emotional invisibility. You're present for everyone else, but almost invisible to yourself. So even when you finally have the time and money, spending on yourself still feels wrong because your subconscious rulebook says, I come last. My needs are negotiable. This is why raises, promotions, or higher income don't automatically fix the problem. You don't upgrade yourself. You just upgrade what you can do for other people. Until that internal ranking system changes, no amount of money will feel like enough to truly relax and treat yourself fairly.
If you saw yourself in any of these patterns, it doesn't mean you're broken. In fact, people who hate spending money on themselves are often incredibly loyal, highly responsible, deeply caring, and disciplined. But those strengths can quietly turn into self-neglect if they're never balanced. A healthier money mindset isn't about reckless shopping. It's about learning to treat your own well-being as a valid investment. Setting aside a small, non-guilty me fund in your budget. Asking, if someone I loved wanted this, would I say it's too much for them? Practicing tiny, intentional purchases that say, I'm allowed to exist in my own budget. Because the truth is, money is not just for surviving or fixing other people's problems. It's also a tool for building a life you actually feel present in.
If this hit a little too close to home, you're exactly who this channel is for. Here on MindSense, we decode the psychology behind every dollar you spend, why you save, overspend, avoid, or feel guilty about money in the first place. If you want to build a healthier money mindset, one small video at a time, hit subscribe and stay tuned for the next breakdown.